out the jibber jabber. Don't be babbling like a fool. Say what you got to say. That's all. Then shut your dang pie hole.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. We're starting the week off. It's Monday. And it is 0 dark 30. It is dark out, is it not? Blasting out of the bunker, folks. 0 dark 30. Yeah, dark. Dark and gruesome. I'm going to talk about a topic here, folks, and it's an important one. It has to do with the rule of law. Who is the law? What is the law? Who runs it? Who gets to say? Well, this is all coming true now. The idea that government controls government and that it obeys government. It doesn't listen to us. It elects itself. It becomes its own entity, serving only its own needs. Now, we've got a case of this in the U.S. and we've got a case of this in the European Union. It's really important that we see what is happening, folks, what is continuing to happen in our world. Because shit has hit the fan and it's going to get a lot worse. They're pushing so damn hard, folks, that they are just stepping over themselves and they're putting their feet not only in mouse traps and rat traps, but in bear traps, and they're continuing to march on regardless. Let me give you the examples. The President of the United States believes he can sign a World Health Organization document that gives the World Health Organization power over decisions in the United States. Power over you and me, because he has decided that it's good for himself, the U.S., the World Health Organization. Who is this good for? Well, you know, in case of a pandemic. And he's saying that, nope, the Senate is not needed. The Senate is not needed to sign. It's going to become effective. It has the force of law. Our sovereignty doesn't matter because, you know, it's an emergency. It has to do with medical stuff. Nowhere in the U.S. Constitution does it say the Constitution applies, well, unless it's about medical stuff. Nowhere are doctors or emergencies, medical emergencies talked about. Nowhere in the U.S. Constitution. Yet they've magically found exclusive jurisdiction for the government to act, independent of all rule and law and order. Does that ever result in good results, consequences? No, it doesn't, folks. Every time, every single time, any government decides that it is the lone single arbiter of truth, it results in the death of millions. Millions. I want to remind all of you that we are guaranteed by the Constitution a Republican form of government. We are not guaranteed anything else. They cannot suspend a Republican form of government and give us an alternative because they feel like it, or because they voted on it, or because an accident or an emergency happened. A Republican form of government, folks, is not a democracy. Furthermore, in the United States of America, amongst free men and women, we live under common law. They try and substitute Roman civil law, folks, government law over our common law, and they've overlaid it, and they try and make it, how do we put this? A twin to it. Oh, no, we're just using the processes of Roman civil law to apply the common law. It's supposed to be a duplicate, but the duplicate that they made the Roman civil law no longer reflects the Constitution and looks and sounds like it. In fact, it has gotten far, far, far worse. Very true. It's very true, folks. It no longer mirrors. It no longer is even an ugly sister to the Constitution. In fact, it's completely repugnant because it is continuously, the law now continuously violates our Constitution and our good senses. Yeah, folks, shit hitting the fan. Shit hitting the fan. What, in Canada? It's okay to destroy people's lives, steal their money, steal their cars, freeze their bank accounts because the government decides they don't like your opinion. And the fact that you're protesting embarrasses them because it causes people to examine what it is the government is doing. There's a fine example. And I'm going to give you another example. In Europe, the European Union has decided they don't like Poland because Poland's courts have determined that Polish courts in Poland are more important than European Union courts in Poland. In other words, the sovereignty of Poland is being questioned by the European Union. And the European Union, in order to satisfy itself, the European Union, in order to satisfy itself, is going to install their own judges and override Poland's people, the will of the Polish people and their law, whatever the hell it's made out of. Do you remember when we were told the European Union, and folks, Europeans know this better than we do, that their national sovereignty was not at stake, that the European Union was merely an economic alliance to give them a single currency so they could be more competitive with the United States and other world geographical regions, that the European Union wouldn't challenge their individual cultures and concepts and ideas. What a crock of fucking shit that was, huh? They immediately started fucking with their cultures. How did they do that, you say? You ask, you inquire? By insisting that all European nations invite in the dregs, the shit of the earth from shithole countries. And the people and their cultures are being decimated and destroyed with all of this crap from around the world, where there's gangs and there's drugs and there is human trafficking, prostitution, women being kidnapped, women raped and impregnated by these fucking third world losers, being forced to deal with this crap. Oh yeah, it's not about, no, the European Union's a good thing. Really. And if any country refuses to allow these pieces of shit in, what happens? What happens? Well, that country gets fined. They get sanctioned. That's right, folks. Just like the people in Canada, you violate the rules of those who claim to be your masters, they're going to punish you financially. That sounds like they're definitely stepping all over their sovereignty in Poland. Poland doesn't want that shit in there. Romania, Hungary, they don't want that shit in there. Guess what? Fuck you. They're going to destroy your country another way. They're going to punish your people. Don't tell me it's, oh, well, you're choosing. It's your choice still. I tell you what, it is our choice as people, whether we're Europeans or American. It's our choice. Do you choose to follow? Do you choose to allow the government to continue to kick you in the nutsack? Or is it time to wake the fuck up? You do not have to follow any law that violates your good senses, period. Your good senses. You know what good senses are, folks. You know it's wrong to expose children to drag queens. You know it's wrong. You know it's wrong to mutilate children's genitals by giving them puberty blocking drugs. I'm trying to be nice about this, but this is what they're doing. You know it's wrong when an international organization that has demonstrated it's willing to lie repeatedly at the financial cost as well as the health, how do we even put this? The murders caused by their decisions, because they are murders, because these decisions are being made intentionally. They're intentionally affecting and destroying people's genetics. Their DNA is being affected. Their ability, everything is being affected. And they've got no problem with it. You don't have to obey a thing they say. And the United States government needs to wake the fuck up and step up before the people do. But I don't think that's going to happen, because governments typically go sour. Then they go bad. Then they become toxic before the people rise up and say they've had enough. I always thought in my lifetime this would all come to pass. Well, just in the last few years, man, has it accelerated. It truly has. I said I needed to come to the South, the free South, so I could do my part. And here I am. And the government is doing all it can. Anything that is repugnant, anything that violates the Constitution is null and void. And that includes international treaties, international organizations, anyone pretending that anything is superior to the Constitution because it's an emergency. You can tell a lie, and people don't have to believe it. Even if you're the president and you tell a lie, the people don't have to believe it. Even if the government has guns loaded and they're telling lies, we, the people, don't have to believe it. Even if the government has got that gun pointed at your face, you still don't have to believe it. The choice, though, the choice of what to do is up to you. Are you prepared? Are you prepared? Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. Are you prepared to deal with the consequences of a government that has gone mad on power? Are you prepared for that? Because that is what we're facing. A government that has literally gone mad with power and an agenda to destroy everything. Think about it. Chance favors the prepared mind is yours. Godspeed, Semper Fi, get prepared.